All right, on this episode of the RSL Random Fan Podcast, what do we talk about, Brendan?
We talk about the wonderful escapade of brilliance that these young guns are showing that they aren't young and RSL is ready to play.
The kids are all right. We talk about my man crush who is still holding on to that title,
Not a
Rafa Cabral.
pedophile. Definitely
No,
not a
no,
pedophile.
no, nothing inappropriate there. Rafa Cabral has he is going to be my man crush this year, more than likely. You just have to listen and find out. We also want to make sure you come and join us at the break in Murray on the 7th to watch it. RSL defeat Atlanta. We're going to guarantee the victory, right?
Absolutely. All the TVs are going to be on. We're going to be set. Food's going to be great. Drinks are going to be flowing. It's a good time.
4760 South 9th East. Join us there. And also, don't forget to like, subscribe to all of our social media Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and don't forget YouTube.
Oh,
So, what?
also, the 7th, first five people to come say, hey, you're Brennan, buy me a drink. I will buy you a drink. First five.
Any particular drinks? Do they have to be fancy or?
No, any drinks, soda, coffee, whatever they sell, I'll buy it for you.
All right. So, all that and more on this episode of the RSL Random Fan Podcast. See you later. All right, another episode of the RSL Random Fan Podcast. It's like number 215 or something. It's a lot. I'm your host, Brad Goebel, joined by Brennan and Tyler. So, thoughts? Before we get too into the game, we want to remind you or invite you to join us this Saturday, March 7th, at the break again. We're going to have a watch party, maybe even give away another RSL kit. And it's going to be a good time. We had a lot of people turn out. This time it's going to be even better because Gary, the guy that runs the break, went out and made sure that the game will be, may be on every single TV at the place. So no more glitches.
Sweet. That was the only thing that I would say would be a hiccup of that whole event.
Got
Yeah,
that
it was
direct
a
TV
fantastic
hookup.
time. Yeah, and he's really excited to uh, make that place a spot where RSL fans can go in and enjoy all of the games. So
Can
come
we
out
just
and join us.
well, can we just say how delicious their food was though? Like that surprised me how good their cheeseburgers were. I was not expecting it to be that delicious.
Yeah, yeah, it was good food. Tyler had some massive nachos or something that looked really good.
It
Nacho.
wasn't that massive. He downed those so fast.
Well, he's kind of a big guy.
It's because I was eating them two hands at a time.
Got to watch that microphone after.
So, what were your expectations? We're second game into the season. I'm just curious what your expectations were before we headed into the game. Because I'll share mine. The reason I asked them the question is I kind of expected Seattle to be able to kind of break the curse there. They haven't won a regular season game at the Riot since 2011. It's a long freaking time ago. I mean, RSL's probably got kids playing for them that weren't alive when the last time Seattle beat them in um, at home at the Riot. But what were your thoughts? I kind of expected Seattle to come in and break the curse.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Seattle was going to be a bigger powerhouse. Um, they do have that tendency to be wishy-washy, especially during the beginning of the season and partly through the middle. Seems like they get their crap together when it's more of a playoff push. But based on seeing them against the Whitecaps, I didn't really have too much of a hope for them winning this game for RSL. I think we did really, really well to keep Vancouver out of the goal for as long as we did. So I was kind of, I don't know, I was just kind of, I wasn't going to be mad if we lost, I guess is the best way to put that, you know?
Yeah, what about you, Tyler?
Yeah, for me it was kind of tough because watching pregame and watching Seattle and seeing how good they were, I was like, these guys are really good. They've paid a lot of money for their squad. They have a higher salary than we do. You know, all that stuff that you typically look for at like at LAFC or Seattle or those guys. They're all spending good money. And so for us to, you know, look at that pregame, I'm like, ooh, I hope we still own them.
Yeah, the thing that really concerned me was that you see it all the time with young players. They come into the league, they have a great game, their first game, and then their opponents go, "Oh, this kid's good. We better keep our eye on him." And then they kind of clamp him down and they mark him out of the game, or they do something to make him nervous, or it's a first home game where they're playing in front of their fans as an official member of the club. And I was wondering, I think these kids have proven that the moment is just not too big for them, which is kind of impressive.
What do you think that has something to do with Pablo and his coaching? Do you think he's giving him that strength, that mental strength to be able to not falter?
Depends on what books he's having them read, or if they even audiobooks listen to. They're probably, I don't know if maybe Quentin's reading a book. Well, the rest of them are. But I don't know. That's a good question. They are they're kids that have their heads on straight, which is
Well, you
a
got
big thing.
it's a strength comes from the environment when it comes to this kind of situation. So the environment that these youngsters are getting involved in has really given them confidence to go out there by themselves when you actually have to convert. And they didn't seem like they were young kids. Now, I mean, I have to say, the kid I was most impressed with, I really liked Moisa. I like his distribution. But Booth was impressive this game. Like I think he stood out as far as confidence moving in the middle, being defensive. He didn't really have any real hiccups. I was super impressed by that guy.
Yeah, in fact, when they made the switch and brought in our Mr. Bench guy, number 11, that's supposed to be the next, the next big thing. He didn't have it. You could tell there was a drop off, just a tiny bit of a drop off. And you're like, interesting. Maybe Pablo is seeing these guys really well and being able to get the difference there between Mark Chuk and in a better spot right now to be starting games.
Yeah, I thought I was surprised with that. Um, my we'll ask it at the end, but let's jump into the game. We can talk about the kids while we're talking about the game. Uh, Start of the game, Seattle kind of jumped in. I was really surprised they got an early cross right across the front of the box that
Oh,
no
were you
one
gonna do
was.
lineups?
Oh yeah, sure. Let's do lineups then. This is, hey, we haven't been doing this very long. This is a very new podcast. We haven't, this is the first time. Welcome to the brand new RSL Random Fan Podcast. Very first time we've done this. We've never really talked about the game before, but the lineups RSL had in goal, Cabral, across the back, three, Quinton Glad, Engel, Gozo, Caliscan, Moisa, or if you're listening to the game, I listen to the game again, Moisa. That's what, and I'm thinking, well, who's got it wrong? Do we have it wrong or does he have it wrong? I'm guessing us. Him, he had it wrong. It's Moisa. Sanabria. Hezerkani goes on up top. Piol. And then for Seattle, they had Thomas and the keeper. One of the Roldans, Gomez, Reagan, Tolo. And then the other Roldan, Christian. And then Hassani Dotson. And then up top, uh, a guy that I think is headed out of the league pretty quick. Jesus Ferreira, Russ Rusnak, and Rothrock, who was a free agent and a player that I would have loved to have seen RSL go after, but I don't even know if they did or anything. Those
Where's
were,
Ferreira going? What's up with Ferreira?
I don't know, he's just disappeared. I haven't watched him enough. Not a guy I like, and I didn't even know. You couldn't even tell he was on on the pitch during the game. I didn't think he had any kind of impact whatsoever.
Yeah, but you got to give it to our boy Fruit Snack. That guy, that guy really knows how to get RSL to boo. Holy cow. That guy, like I was sitting down and I was like, oh, I forgot we don't like this guy. Like the immediate hate was just pungent. It was just full on booze immediately when he touched the ball. Totally forgot about him.
Well
Albert
deserved.
Booznak.
Well deserved.
Well deserved. Yeah.
It's not like Musovsky. Musovsky went there and, we didn't choose to
I don't know.
man. That was great.
Yeah. That was really fun to watch him talk to the previous GM about money as we were walking by. Like,
Oh
oh,
yeah,
that's
at
a weird
practice.
conversation to be having out and about when people are around. That's probably
Right?
being you're desperate, but whatever. Um, so
Something.
this first half, I felt like RSL was pretty sturdy, but at the same time, we allowed moments to happen for Seattle that were pretty aggressive, where Cabral had to be Cabral. But I wanted to ask you guys, do you feel that RSL is better this way, allowing just a couple moments in like that? Or do you like the other way with like four in the back and, we don't want them to get anywhere near any shots off whatsoever?
I like this way so far, the first two games. I really like this way. Um, I was surprised that in the post game that Pablo didn't think that Cabral stood on his head in this game, but he
He
had
had that
some,
huge bear call save that he had to jump up and get.
yeah.
He
And there, I watched it again in the highlights. It's like, yeah, there were some. He had 8 saves
just in
on
the
the
first half or total.
total. He had 8 saves total on the 9 shots on goal from Seattle.
And
And
some of those weren't great, but it was 2.7 was the expected goals, dude. That means they should have
Oh,
scored almost three
oh,
goals.
dude, you brought up the stupid expected goals at the post game too, dude. I'm driving home. Okay, side note.
Yeah.
We get done. I'm with my wife and my son. We get in the car. I'm driving home and I'm like trying to find the post game on the radio and it's not working. And so then I pull it up on Twitter and I'm like, oh, hey, they're going to start asking questions. And then lo and behold, Tyler comes in and goes, hey, blah, 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 blah. The expected goals was 2.7. And I even turned to my wife and I was like, dude, he always brings up the stupid stat. I hate it so much. Oh, sorry. I just had to get that off my chest. I
That's
was just like,
great.
what a
I
Tyler thing to
appreciate it.
say.
I'm
But it was
glad
a
you
good
appreciate it.
question. It was a good
Yeah.
question, though. I mean, you just don't like, I hate that. I hate that stupid expected goal crap?
Basically, it means he stood on his head, whether Coach Pablo thought so or not.
Yeah, no,
there
totally.
were some good saves in there. That paw, the header from Yamar, that he had to reach back and flick it. So I was really impressed with Cabral. It almost looks like he's picked up. He's improved from last season, which seems like ridiculously hard. But the game started, like I said, they had a nice cross. They kind of abused that RSL right side coming down the Seattle left side. Most of the first half, they got by and they had the cross there. Nobody's in the box, and I thought, oh man, this is going to be a night because if they're already getting across the middle of the box, it could be dangerous. And Seattle kind of did have RSL's number for about the first almost 10 minutes, not quite 10 minutes. They came in, I think they were looking for a knockout punch, and RSL kind of didn't, they bent, but they didn't break. And I was kind of impressed because, like you were talking about with those kids, the game kind of turned after that big save by Cabral. No? Yes? No? Thoughts?
No, no, no. I mean, I see that. I think what you said about the right side being a little bit more vulnerable at the beginning of the game, that was very true. And it showed because when Gozo wasn't tracking back to make that what is it, the outside box, like just press against the ball, they were able to get underneath and they were really able to distribute and they were dangerous. I mean, that happened a lot in the second half too, when Gozo was getting more tired. You saw how like sensitive we were on that right side.
Pablo,
But oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say Pablo kind of mentioned that because I asked the question is what because in the first half they came down the right side, and in the second half they kind of had RSL pinned in their half for a long time, and he did bring up that he brought up how Gozo just needs to slow down because Tyler, we were sitting in the box watching the game and talking about Gozo, and Tyler was like, he just can't go at him. You gotta change it up. You've got to you just can't zip in there because then the player goes right around you. And that's exactly what Pablo mentioned. And it looked like that changed in the second half, and maybe he learned something, kind of calmed down and relaxed. And it didn't seem like that right side was as much of an issue in the second half as it was in the first. But they were kind of abusing Quentin. They abused Quentin that pretty early in the fifth or sixth minute, getting that very first yellow card of the game.
Oh yeah. Well, kudos to him, honestly. He was probably the looking at the starting lineup at the beginning of the game, he was the one that I had a little bit of like insecurity or doubt with because he's tall, he's not incredibly fast, and if we have a really attacking player on that right wing, he's kind of going to be left alone in a couple of transition plays, and that's dangerous. But I think he kind of held up and did really well for my expectations. I think he's a surprise start to the season, I would say.
Yeah, he gave up a few corners, but you know, with Sanabria over there, I think they covered well on the other side, right?
Yeah,
Being
there was
able to tuck in.
yeah, and then the second half there was something going on with him like where he wasn't gauging the ball because they had like a few throw-ins off that right side. Or this is the first half still. They had that few throw-ins off the right side, and it was he just kept missing them. Like Glad had to take a couple of headers behind him because he was like flat out mistiming the loft of the ball. So that was not very good. But he did have a sweet assist that set up, the second goal. That was dope.
Should we talk about
I did it.
Talk about the goal.
I did it, Tyler.
Should we talk about the first goal? Uh, I went back and let's talk about who wants to break down the goal.
Tyler does the breakdowns. Tyler is the breakdown.
that? Sometimes, all right. So there we were. Gozo was breaking into the middle. He was breaking by guys left, right. He kind of sucked him in, then blew by him. Then he got into the box and lost the ball. But Moisa recovered it real quick, flipped it out wide to Sanabria. Sanabria with the left-footed, sweet, level, driven cross like Brennan loves. And Gozo, it was behind Gozo, so he kind of had to step back to wait, and then his Arcani attacked it. Boom, roofed it right into the top of the roof with the left foot finish. So
So sweet.
I watched that again, and it was three left-footed passes. Actually, it might have been four if you count angles, right?
Yeah.
Angle, he sent the nice cross, switching
to
up,
play.
switch of play that Gozo brought down, as Tyler so eloquently described. Dribble through the players, and then I like if you watch it, Moisa knows that pass is coming. He jumps that pass, the clear out pass from Seattle, and left foot to Sanabria, left foot into Hezrokani, and picks it up off the half bounce and roofs it in, and just great play by the kids. I have been very, very impressed with how the kids are playing. And who do you sit down?
Who do you sit down?
Who do you sit down out of those kids when everybody's healthy?
Ari, but we already did because he's kind of hurt.
Yeah,
Shoot.
Uh,
that'll take
Dang
care of
it.
itself. And
But he
that's
makes such good back post runs. It's like the second one he scored that way, even though the other one didn't count.
the thing about Ari is that he's Anderson Julio, well, without the touch or the vision.
But he has some height.
I was watching the game. He has terrible first touch, Robbie Finley-esque early on, which I'm sure the touch will come, and his vision is sorely lacking at times. He's had several opportunities to play on his teammates, and instead he's made the choice to shoot or not. And then, unlike the second goal, which we'll talk about, but Gozo finds him because he's unselfish, looks up, finds his teammate, and Ari. That part of those two things, those two parts of his games haven't developed, but he's got the natural ability, he's got the speed, and he does make runs, and he's always working.
No, that's a very good point. But I want to ask you this. So
Whereas,
when Ruiz got subbed in, do you feel we got better, the same, or worse? Ooh.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up because there was a time um, in the second half where it was after the second goal, and we're just getting way ahead of ourselves. But after the second goal, where Seattle had RSL pinned in their half for about 20 minutes, it felt like. And a lot of it was after, I'm sure it wasn't all of this, but after Moisa, who was subbed out in the 61st minute, I think Luka Moisa has more of an effect on the game than I expected to him. Not that that's him being out there, being out made all the difference in the world. Seattle changed up and was putting more pressure on. But I thought I don't think the team improved with Ruiz in there.
Yeah, I agree with that. I felt that it was kind of weird how I didn't enjoy the fact that the tempo changed and how it looked like when he came on, he was going to take command of that midfield. He was communicating, he was telling everybody where to go, and it kind of looked like he was like, "Yeah, I'm in charge. Let's go." But then it felt like off the ball, he didn't do what Luca was doing. Like Luca was doing things off the ball that was drawing people away, making him get in position. He was doing things really well that you would see in Monarchs games, like where they're a little bit more intricate. They're a little bit they're not so robotic with their movements. Like I guess I'm rambling here, but I felt that like we kind of didn't really need what Ruiz was brought on to do. And with if Ruiz isn't scoring or shooting, I would put my money on Luca right now
Yeah, I
overall.
yeah I thought it was interesting to sub him out so early in the 61st minute. But anything left of halftime? We got to the goal and then we went everywhere else. Anything else that you thought that your impressions on the first half before we break for halftime? Because we got to give out orange slices. We haven't done that for a while. We've been giving out stickers left and right. But thoughts on the first half?
Promising. It was very promising.
I thought RSL was a little lucky to be ahead 1-0. Um, Cabral had quite a few, but I think he had might have been 4 and 4, 4 saves at halftime, 3 or 4 saves at halftime, and I thought Seattle may have had had the better chances, and RSL I think they had one shot on goal, which was the goal at halftime, if I remember right. So, but it was a well earned, well played first half by Real Salt Lake, and we always want to see them winning. So yeah, I was kind of surprised at how it went. What about you, Tyler? Yeah. Oh, you broke up. What were your thoughts on the first half, Tyler?
oh, was that a question for me? Sorry.
Yeah.
What?
Thoughts on the first half.
Yeah, so first half thoughts. We played good, we played hard, and goal. We could have had a couple other chances, but for the amount of chances we gave up, I think it was a good result for us to go in one up.
I agree. I agree. So we totally forgot. I mean, I don't know how we forgot, but in the first game we didn't even give out orange slices after the first game. Maybe we were just so excited that RSL was playing again, and who wants to give out some orange slices? But hey, before we do, I had a question. There's a big to do about Real Salt Lake putting in those big bleachers in the north end, and I'll be honest, I thought they looked terrible in the pictures when they were putting them up, but at the game, looking at them from where we were sitting, they kind of added to the stadium and kind of made it feel a little more compact. And I'm sure they paid for themselves with the advertising that went up around them, the stands. But what are you guys' thoughts on those temporary messy bleachers?
Brandon.
Um, I was with my wife and my son when we got stuck behind those bleachers trying to exit. It was probably about 10 to 15 minutes of just trying to go from the west side to the east gate through the north section. And people just, I guess, stopped moving. And so it was like overcrowded. People weren't exiting. We were trying, like some people were trying to go west, some people were trying to go east. I don't know where the clog happened, but it was honestly, it was most aggravating thing I've ever had against RSL, like stadium wise, I've ever experienced. Because I'm like, my son is 5, he can't see over anybody. My wife is 5'2", so it's like I'm the only one that can actually see anything. And so they're kind of panicking a little bit because we're just shoulder to shoulder with people, no room to move. And then finally, after about 10 to 12 minutes, they kind of go. And when we go, there is nobody. Like there is no reason for there to be that big of a clog for that long. So overall, like the bleachers look cool walking in. I absolutely hate them and I want them to burn them down walking out. Thanks, Messi. He's probably not even going to show up.
Yeah. Well, that was my thought too. Is like that. I just thought of them being there kind of irked me in a lot of ways. But you want your club to make money, and it shouldn't all be about one player. But I thought they didn't look as bad. I kind of liked if they could figure out how to extend those up a little bit. The stadium, it made it feel more compact and like a bowl, and maybe a little bit more intimidating. I don't know. There was just something there, but I would prefer, like you, them to be gone because it looks like just a giant mess trying to get in or out.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had some people come see me at halftime and they said it was brutal trying to get through that end. Just like baby steps and just packed like sardines. So kind of similar to what Brendan dealt with.
Yeah, next time I'm just walking around. I'm just going to go out.
Or wait for the stadium to go up and then go down and take the front row around. Then
That's that's what I usually do. I don't know why you didn't do what we usually do. It's just like wait a few minutes and then just walk across the bottom and up.
Well,
So,
duly noted. I'm gonna for this halftime, I'm gonna give you an orange slice
oh, thank you.
for that suggestion. Thank you so much.
A day late and a
really
dollar
great
short.
idea.
Yeah,
There you
yeah.
Yeah, I'll get you a sticker. Don't worry.
Okay, excellent. Make it a good one. All right, orange slices for the game. Who are you going to give your orange
go.
slice to? We'll start with Tyler.
Hezar Connie. Hezar Connie was on it. He was blue bonnet. He was left. He was right. He drilled a shot in with his left foot off a half volley. Like, just so good in that first half. He gave the ball away 3 times. Once in a very yikesy position, but the other two were like in his attacking style. So I'm okay with those two. Tighten up the one in the back though. Don't try to dribble out of possession just outside the 18. We almost got punished for it. But other than that, great.
Brennan.
Um, I'm I'm gonna give mine to Booth. I was really impressed. I'm really impressed with his work rate, his intelligence off the ball, getting a position. He didn't look like he was the younger kid. out there. He looked like he's been on the team and playing in the MLS for quite some time. I was super impressed. And I think the fans really were impressed because when he had to exit and he was walking around, he had like everybody was clapping like the wave as he was walking by. So I think everybody else saw what he was capable of doing too. So that was super awesome.
And I will continue that. I'm going to give it to Moisa. Because I was trying to figure out who is going to be my man crush this
Dude,
year.
no, you can't do that. That is
And
that is borderline pedo.
I
You're
was just
too
going to
young.
say, I was talking to Tyler about it in the game. I thought about, well, you know what? I'm older than every single one of the players, so it's kind of
But
weird
you
anyway.
can't even buy him a
But
drink. You can't even buy him a drink, dude.
I know. So I'm going to give him an orange slice. But at the moment, Cabral, man, he is still my man crush on this team
He's
because
your Fabio.
he is even better, and he's statutorily better than he was last year. He seems like he's just better. And when we'll
Yeah,
get
he looks
to
like he's in better shape too, you know? Looks like his
yeah,
glutes are really, really large.
and you know it has to happen organically. So no one's taking the title from him. So I'm just going to stick with him. Although I think my orange slice. I love how Luca plays. I love how Hazard plays. I love how Booth plays. I love how Gozo plays. It's fascinating. We've got four teenagers dominating the game for us, and it's just fantastic to see. And the other thing too is with those guys playing so well, playing their roles so well, we don't have to talk about Justin Glad. We don't have to talk about Phil Quinton. We don't have to talk about Junka, who came in and held it down. And you don't have to talk about Engel, who Engel had a pretty solid game. He had a few
He's
nervy moments early.
he's a baller.
Yeah. And so that's what you love to see. When you don't have to talk about your back line, that means that things are going well for your club. Whether you're winning or losing, you're not getting blown out. I thought it was, I kept thinking about it. We're probably not even going to have to talk about the back line. Justin Glad played solid, other than Cabral kind of saving them left a little bit. But it wasn't really the back line that was causing them the trouble as much as it was the attack coming down the sides. So, anything
Yeah,
else? Go ahead,
yeah,
Tyler.
and it was interesting because when Hoffa came back and punched that one backward, dude, he better not be hurt. He better not be hurt.
Yeah,
Oh,
we slammed into the bull post. So, anything else for halftime? All
nope.
right. Jump into the second half. I was really curious to see what was going to happen in the second half, what kind of adjustments were going to be made. I kind of expected Piol to come off at halftime.
What do you think justified that? Do you feel like he just wasn't creating enough options or what?
No, I think he was the weak point of the team in the first half. I
Mm.
thought he had some turnovers. He didn't take advantage of some opportunities. And if you've got this new guy in Gila Vogie, and maybe he just isn't fit and ready, game day fit. But I thought with Puel not really standing out, and it would have been a good time to just bring in Gila Vogie for the half. But turned out it worked out well anyway, almost. So
So I was in the tunnel talking to some people, and all of a sudden I heard the goal, and I was like, "What the heck just happened?" So I ran upstairs because I was down, missed it. So I was waiting for the "We are Real, nosotros somos Real" chant, and I never heard it, and I didn't see the lights go out, so I wasn't ready.
What were you doing in the tunnel, sir? What were you doing in the tunnel?
I came downstairs to talk to my brother and my daughter, and
In the
then no,
his
just down a floor.
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Back
So I
back
couldn't see
there.
the
I was
field.
like, dude, that's like reserved for 100 Lions Club. How did you do
Oh,
that?
No,
He's
no,
No,
like,
not
not
man, you
that.
dressing room
sneaky little
area.
guy, dude. He's like, hey, I'm with
No,
press. I'm with press. Let me in. Thank you.
I don't sneak anywhere. Not at 6 foot and 240. Right? Not sneaking anywhere. But no, like I was waiting for that song "We Are Real" to come on, and it never came on. I didn't hear it anyway, so that was weird.
Yeah, I didn't hear it either. So maybe that's
Oh, I heard it. It
Wearing
was
glasses,
fantastic. I loved it.
wearing these like protective glasses.
yeah, so it was a beautiful, beautiful goal. Um, it came from one of the things that RSL did quite a bit in the first half that I thought was interesting is they started the game off with a lot of long balls over the top, trying to catch Seattle and maybe take advantage of Peel's speed and get Gozo attacking on the wing there. But the goal came from a, a brilliant pass, a
Oh,
very nice pass from Quinton down way back on the right side. He lofts it up. He catches Gozo, making the break. It doesn't hit him in stride as much as it's the weight of the pass was just right so Gozo could run onto the ball. And he takes it forward, pushes it forward, and as like we talked about, he looked up, he found Puyol, who was crashing down the other side. It was that perfect pass where the keeper couldn't come out and get it, and it was in between the keeper and the defender, and Puyol just taps it in. And I just thought, man, that is how you do it. That's how you start the second half, and that's how you take advantage and you find your teammate and you make it easy.
well, yeah, I had a beautiful vantage point of that pass from Quinton. It looked like he tried to curl it a little bit because I think Hazard was the one that was running with Gozo. He tried like he didn't really have a clear shot to Gozo. So like the way he sent that long ball was actually quite delicious. Like shooting that, I was like, oh, that's gonna be sick. And then you just see Hazard he's like going towards it, but then Gozo has a better stride and just goes straight for him. And what poise from Gozo, man, because you see that. I think Luna takes that and he shoots. I don't think he passes. And Gozo sets up like a kindergarten pass that everybody can do. Super easy. One time it in the box. And man, it was so cool to see um, Glad and Pablo celebrate Quinton because Quinton was like, yeah, let's go. And it was just kind of cool because that's the unsung hero. He's not going to get any points for that. He's not going to get the assist, none of that. But his ball was the whole reason we scored. Like, I want there to be a stat, like a dumb stat, like expected goals. I want there to be a stat like that that's like
Isn't that a
influential.
secondary goal?
Yeah,
I
something
want
that
more
like
dumb stats too, Brennan.
just like an yeah. I want a stat for those because those ones are the ones you remember.
Those
No,
are my favorite too. We could just call it wicked passes.
no, we'll think about it.
Yeah. Wicked's nice. That's good. Because I love those kind of passes. The line breaking passes, they don't even have to score a goal. And they're just like, oh man, there was one that's
No,
there
no, no, no.
was
You're gonna say Gila Vogies?
yeah, there was I was just gonna say there were several of those passes in the second half. And we want to wait, we can wait
No, it's okay.
on
You can
those.
talk about it.
Um but I wanted to talk about so RSL gets the goal. We're up 2-1, and it um felt like things were uh, too good to be true for a minute. I thought, okay, let's see what they do because immediately after this goal, it was till when did they as after the goals, this is the part where Seattle kind of took over the momentum of the game. They calmed down. They thought, oh my gosh, these kids are beating us. They calmed down, and they took possession of the ball. And RSL kind of was, I don't know, panic, but they were not as calm as Seattle was, even though they were up 2-0. Because there were many times where RSL could have, with a little bit of possession, a little bit of composure, could have broke out and broken up the Seattle momentum. But it was a good 20 minutes of Seattle coming down and just pinning RSL in the box, getting corner kicks, getting free kicks, getting throw ins, and just keeping RSL pinned in their half. Is that how you remember it, or am I just remember it wrong?
No, I think there's a little dash of pessimism there, but um overall, I felt that the transition game is going to be our best friend or our worst enemy going forward. We kind of have to be open to that transition so that way when we stop a moment from happening, we can create a moment on the other end. And thinking about the new way we play, it kind of gave me a little bit of comfort and you can see why some of this stuff happened when we got trapped in the corner, and they kept getting those corners, and they had quite a bit of throw-ins and stuff. It was when Gozo was getting a little tired. He was getting a little gassed. He had made a lot of runs, a lot of challenges, and well, I can't remember the guy. He was going head to head with their left back. There's this big that bulky guy. I can't remember his name, and he ended up getting a yellow card because of it. But um, I didn't really see us too vulnerable in those 20 minutes that you were talking about. It kind of felt that we had a better hold on it than what it looked like. Looking at body language and stuff, you could definitely tell that we were a little bit more comfortable than we've been in the past. That's my point of view.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I RSL's defense these first two games has been rather solid. They feel comfortable back there. I told us, turned to Tyler and said, I like seeing the five in the back where, they can come back, they go forward, and you've got three, and you just kind of like that little horseshoe of defense in the back there. And I think you're right there. But RSL missed some opportunities to kind of break that up. And I think that will come with time and practice, especially with these young kids. So is that how
Yeah,
you
I
saw it,
think
Tyler?
I think we want to see a lot of D on the break. I think we want to play on the break more, but we got to get better at playing on the break because we're not great at it. You know what I mean? And I think that showed. We had three or four awesome chances to put this game away and just didn't quite do it. But
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. They did not put stuff. You're just breaking up just a little bit. So we get what you're talking about. So let's talk about the Seattle goal. I went back and watched it because Christian Roldan, their captain, he is wide open on the header. So I went back and watched it again, and there was you have the scrum in the middle of the box in front of the keeper, and he, as a savvy veteran that he is, he was very tight. Go ahead.
Do not say it was Quinton's fault.
No, it wasn't. I was going to lean more towards Justin Glad because I was.
Ooh. Oh my gosh, dude.
No, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because I went back and watched it. How did he get so open? And he's actually right in back of Cabral in that little, they're fighting in back of Cabral, and he runs before the kick, Rusnak's kick. He runs into the goal around Cabral and kind of picks off his defender. And as he's coming out, he's wide open. Justin Glad could have maybe caught him and been a little bit proactive, but it was kind of in no man's land. He ended up being all alone. A lovely, lovely pass from kick from Rusnak and a nice little redirect into a wide open net. And it looked like Cabral was pretty bent after that went in. I think Tyler mentioned it to me because I didn't see it. But I guess what did he do? Cabral ran over to Pablo.
Oh yeah, immediately when we got a set piece on the other end, he came and like had some words with him that looked like he was pretty livid. No, so like when I watched it, what I saw is I saw them doing a zone type of defense on a set piece. And that's the one of the things what I don't enjoy about it is if you're marking somebody in your zone and then they change their position, you have to communicate. And I felt that Quinton didn't say a word. Like if you watch the replay, he doesn't say anything. The guy goes behind Cabral, ends up getting in front, but Glad already has somebody marking. And so by the time the ball is elevated, Glad is like two steps behind. Quinton's not even really in the play. And you just saw Seattle just expose a set piece flaw that has been kind of the thing for the past year and a half. I feel like RSL needs to like, call Arsenal and be like, "Hey, Arsenal, can you guys help us with these set pieces? Because that's the only thing you guys are good for." That was for Sam. Um, but oh,
And
and also
Tyler.
Tyler, sorry. Um, as he's pissed off. But yeah, man, I just overall that could have been such a better play from us, but it was crafty by Seattle. Tough to defend.
And Ruiz, they subbed right before that goal, and that's when maybe if they'd have left Moisa in, it would have been a totally different story. No, but Ruiz came in for Moisa and Junka came in for Engel in the 61st minute, right before they got that corner kick, literally a minute before.
Mm.
So, and then after that, then it'd be kind of as they say, squeaky bum time when they got um, they broke the deadlock and they put some pressure on Real Salt Lake. So only have the one goal lead. It's 2-1. And now you're thinking, okay, how does this game end? Does it end in a draw or does Real Salt Lake come apart and Seattle uses their experience and their veteran play and end up kind of breaking the bubble, popping the bubble of Real Salt Lake so far this season and end up, getting 3 points, stealing 3 points, which probably wasn't the what was going to happen considering how poorly they play in Salt Lake, being 4,000 feet above where they live. But I was concerned that they would nick another goal and RSL would end up with a draw, which I think would have been not devastating, but it wouldn't have been as sweet as a win. And then on the flip side, you're wondering, hey, these guys can RSL get the goal to put the game away? And unfortunately for RSL, that didn't happen. But fortunately, neither did Seattle getting a goal.
Well, you kind of, I mean, watching this again, RSL look to be where you want them to be. It didn't look like we were defensive minded. It looked like we were still transition minded. We were still moving the ball forward. Guy Lavogi came on, showed his class, and just sent a beautiful pass. I think to Booth that was really, really clean. We had a bunch of opportunities that we were. I mean, there's two that were one on one with the goalie. That one we tried to put through the legs. The other one I didn't really see, but
Solans came in and
Solans, was that what it
keeper
is?
saved it. Actually, it was on frame. I was like, he's gonna
Yeah,
kick it in the corner, and then
dude.
We didn't get the corner kick out of it.
Oh yeah, that was so stupid.
Right.
But
Tori
but
missed
yeah,
3 or 4 of those. I was a little disappointed in that. And there were all these little things. It started to add up. By the end of the game, you're like, you missed that save, you missed that throw in. And, the players are starting to get a little ticked towards the end of the game.
Oh yeah, with Tori, she didn't have a she didn't have a bad game. She had better game than she did the last two times she's been here last year
you
that
know,
she's refed RSL.
it's incredible how much you respect somebody, and then after a couple bad seasons, you don't want that person to be participating. I was telling my wife this at the game. I was like, "This is Tori Penso. She's got a husband that's also a referee, and she used to be better than her husband, but recently she's been being awful. And this game, I don't know what was going on, man. Like just not reading the room, not like organizing the guys, not making things fair. You know what I mean? Like challenges together. They were favoring Seattle for quite a bit there.
Yeah, Pablo even mentioned that. He's like, I don't care if it's a dogfight. Let it be a dogfight, but don't
Yeah.
not let it be a dogfight sometimes and let it be a dogfight other times.
Yeah, because the ref gets to decide how physical the game is, but however the physical the game is has to be that physical the entire game. It cannot be, oh, for these 15 minutes, we'll let them get physical. And the thing that really ticked me off about Tori Benso was the added time at the end. The 8 minutes. Okay.
Oh,
I understand 8 minutes. Whatever. Ari was down for quite a while. But we have possession of the ball. It is 8 minutes and 48 seconds. We have already tried to get her to notice that, hey, it's time. Like, we have the ball. And he even holds it up to her like this, like, I have the ball. And then he boots it. And I think she was just trying to get back at us. And the ball goes out. She lets play on. Play on. We stopped like two attacking chances or something like that before. Like we should have been done and done, Tori. They get
yeah.
another shot at it. Oh, dude.
Yeah. Cabral had a save. I think it was a Yamar or somebody in there that had a nice header that snapped right to Cabral, or the game could have ended differently. I thought the one that really kind of pissed people off was when uh, Go- Gozo got tumbled over down by in
Oh, he
the
lost his shoe.
north end. Yeah, he lost his shoe, and there's no foul. They just play on.
He,
And
he he embellished it too much. That was the problem.
well, you were closer to him than we were, but then they had a similar foul for Seattle, and somehow they got the call. I don't think it was a horrible performance by Torrey. We've had much worse. I thought, those are just little things that consistency that's going to come as the season goes for both the refs and the players. But certainly did not have an effect on the outcome of the game. Even though
Luckily,
she
luckily.
tried. We're going to have 15 minutes of stoppage time there.
Well, so
We're going to
that's
go until Seattle scores. I think that's what she said. That's what I
no. It
heard.
felt that way. It felt that way. It was one of those things where like it. It was honestly those little things that she was letting go are the seeds to change games in the wrong way. She did that way too much. And also it's all the referees. This VAR thing is not like it's just not it, man. It's frustrating the crap out of me. I'm Evelyn, sorry.
Yeah. Well, one thing I don't know. One thing I wanted to give kudos for, maybe half an orange slice, was to Dominic Marchuk. He came in and he was doing his best to get under the skin of Seattle players and time wasting. There was that one time where there was like three RSL players trying to figure out who was going to throw in the ball, and Tori came over and she was going to give a yellow card. She had her hand in her pocket, and then she couldn't figure out who to give a yellow card to. I think she finally gave it to Quentin or Glad or somebody. But it's fun when the comes from your players.
Or
Yeah,
when
like who do I give this yellow card to? It's got
Yep.
to go to somebody. Who wants it?
well,
Weird.
I thought it was hilarious when we had the ball come back and Glad was like taking his time to like take it off the field. He's like waiting until she notices him holding the ball. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" It's like we haven't been in this position in years, man. We haven't been in position to do all the dark art stuff.
Yeah,
Or
I'm really
something.
kind of one. I might be way off on my 10th place finish guess. I'll be eating crow here pretty soon, knock on wood. But let's talk about the subs, the new players that came in. Uh, Obviously, RSL won 2-1. But thoughts on Gila, Vogie, and Solans? They were the other two new guys. Engel started, and I thought he had a decent game, a little rough. He had one terrible pass early that could have been dangerous, but RSL defended it. But I think he's going to make that difficult for Katranis and Junka to get in there. Sanabria, well, we haven't even talked about Sanabria.
Well, I wanted to bring him up.
Well,
Out of all the new players, I would put Solans and Sanabria as like one of my two favorites right now. I think Guy Lavogi is going to be aggressive. He's going to probably convert a lot. Solans seemed like he was just a threat every time he touched the ball. Like he had purpose. He was going towards goal. Like he was a threat every single time.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
Sanabria is not a big dude, but dude, he can play, man. Like I was so impressed with
Balls
him.
out.
Like defensive wise, distribution wise, like attacking, like he was like a little Martinez, you know what I mean? Like he was big. He was big without being big. I
Yeah, he
love
definitely balled out for sure. I think he's my new favorite player based upon that
Ooh,
performance. It was impressive.
yeah. But yeah,
Yeah,
Salons came under my radar, man. I didn't expect him to be as good as he was.
yeah. I think uh, the front office may have made amends. We'll see how it goes. May have made amends for the last few wrong crews, and I saw someone called him Gonzalez, Gone, gone, Diego Gonzalez. Glad he's
Oh,
gone.
I was.
Yes,
Can I bring this up?
yeah.
So I just wanted to say,
Uranium.
sorry, there was a pop-up thing. No, I wanted to give a huge shout out to the RSL front office because one thing that happened this morning, I turned on YouTube and I was like, oh, I should watch the highlights so it's a little bit more fresh in my head. So I type in RSL versus Seattle, hit enter, and it shows the game. And then just below it, it shows last year's game we had. And it had Diogo as like the person in the picture, like in the freeze frame. And I thought to myself, look how far we've come. Look at this. Look at like he's gone. He's gone Salves. This is fantastic. It's just it's amazing that we finally did it. Like I mean that's such a huge win. Kudos to the front office for getting it done. It was a little stinky, but still, thank you so much. I am so glad to not see him anymore. Like that's incredible.
Amen, friend.
Amen.
Amen. Exactly. So RSL gets the victory 2-1. It was very well played. For me, it was a surprising result. Not that they won. Well, I was surprised they won. I really thought that looking at the preseason, like I mentioned many times, I wasn't expecting RSL to really have a shot at winning a game until the Kansas City game. And now I'm expecting them to play well. At some point, they're going to have a bad game. They always do. No team's perfect, but I'm a lot more optimistic than I thought I would be 2 games into the season.
Mm. Here. I agree with that.
And then, our next week's opponent, Atlanta, I think they've lost both games. Is that correct? I
Yep.
was,
Yep. No goals against San Jose this week for them.
but they will be. They had 2 road games.
Here, I'll be back. Do this without me.
All right. So, we'll look at his stuff on the wall there, his gardening stuff. But hey, what are your thoughts on Atlanta, Tyler?
They're good, but they're not good yet. You know what I mean? They're not great for sure. They're pretty good though. We want to watch out for a couple of their new guys, their signings, the one-to-one stuff, because as a team right now, we're playing better than they are. So hopefully they will, kind of stick with that. But they have a lot of new players that they've added recently, but they haven't been able to really put anything together. The only team worse so far has been Montreal. So let's just keep that rolling and come out of a win in Atlanta on turf. Remember, it's on turf. So
Yeah, it's on turf. It will be their home opener. It'll probably be packed, so it will be an interesting atmosphere for everyone involved. We'll see who gets the starting lineup. We'll see if Luna is back. It didn't sound like Olatunji was going to be back anytime soon in the post game. I think you asked about injuries, Tyler.
yeah,
Pablo.
the eye thing I think might be worse than he thinks it is, but I ran into him in the hall and he said, "I'll be back next week." But you know how hopeful you want to be when you're playing.
Yeah, yeah. Since we're big time, I ran into Diego Luna, but in the hallway, and I'm not as brave as you, so I didn't. I just said hey. I didn't ask him when you're coming back. How's the knee or anything like that. I should have been more
Oh,
of an. I should have been a better intrepid reporter and
well,
really
I
grilled him.
embraced Olatunji. I gave him a big hug, told him I was proud of him, tell him, if anything happens in this world, you always have me as a friend, something like that. I don't know. Maybe it
Yeah,
wasn't
I
exactly
wondered
that.
where that singing was coming from. Thank you for being
Yeah,
the
no,
Golden Girls theme song. That
It worked. It worked. We
Yeah, that
bonded. We cried. It was beautiful.
yeah, that should be our theme song. We're the oldest podcast so out there. So we can
Yeah.
break out the Golden Girls uh theme song. One you brought up Montreal. I wanted to bring up Montreal. We'll see if Brendan makes it back. But I watched the highlights because they mentioned that Bodie Hidalgo, the first game of the season, Bodie Hidalgo and Brian Vera, the RSL expatriates, were in the starting lineup for Montreal.
Playing
And,
outside backs. Both of them were outside
yeah,
backs.
one
In
Vera on
a,
the left, Bodie on the right, and Montreal got absolutely blitzed.
and most of them came down Vera's side, to be
Well,
fair
if
to
you
Cody.
no, if you watch the highlights,
Mm,
Bodie, I felt bad for him watching the highlights because I hadn't watched it, and they had mentioned it. Somebody had mentioned that Bodie had started the first game and wasn't even in the 18 for the second game. And I said, "What?" So I went and watched the highlights of the first game, and man, that I feel bad for that kid. There was a couple of times where on the first goal, if you go watch the highlights, we're talking about Bodie Hidalgo and the fact that Montreal is not having a great season now that you're back, Brendan. But I watched the highlights on the very first goal. I don't know what Bodie was doing. He was walking and watching. I was like, why aren't you? And then Bodie had an opportunity to break up two or three of the goals and didn't. And I thought, wow, felt bad for him because he didn't even make the
and
18, as I mentioned
in
in the
the
second
last
game.
game, Vera was that same guy. They just took advantage of him. He's not an outside back after that game. He was, remember Andrew Brody against
Kansas
uh,
City.
Kansas City, that one game where we're like, dude, we don't know where to put you, so we're gonna put you at left mid. Please don't suck there too. But we got to put somebody else at outside back, and we don't have enough players right now. So just stay in the game, but run over there for a bit. Just get out of here from the outside back. Yeah,
Yeah.
rough game. So
Yeah. Montreal in the first game, they were only down 1-0, but then they were number three. It looked like a Vera-esque play, slid in and just crushed a guy's ankle and ended up with a red card. And then I guess it was San Diego. That's they played in the first.
in the first game, yeah.
Yeah, and they just took advantage of him. But Bodie Hidalgo just looked lost out there and thought, oh man, poor kid.
Yep.
So yeah, Montreal could be historically bad. And they already have, get this, -8, 2 games, goal differential, -8. Lost 5-0 and 3-0. And
Brutal.
there are any thoughts on the league so far? Any surprises?
Yeah,
Um,
did you guys see the Sunday night soccer game? Holy crap. Orlando goes up 2-0 at halftime. And then
um,
Messi comes back and scores four in the second half. Not all Messi, but the Messis, the pink Messis.
I did
They
see,
did.
I did see the highlight of Messi after the
Want
game.
my autograph?
He want my autograph to the Orlando bench. So that's fantastic. Major League Soccer needs some rivalries. They
Mhm.
need some of these rivalries to really take hold. So yeah, thought that was fantastic. And yeah, San Diego's playing well. Red Bull. If it wasn't for the Red Bulls and they had a kid that scored a bunch of goals, a young player, I think he's 17. I,
Artie Meti, something like that.
17, I think he got 2 goals in their last game. I think the everybody would be talking about Real Salt Lake and their kids, but New York is 2 games, 2 wins, 6 points.
Michael Bradley.
Yeah, he's got them just playing fantastic, very upbeat, up tempo, and pushing forward. So it's going to be an interesting season. I mean, there's only been played 2 games, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams in the East that haven't won a game yet. Don't have a point after 2 games, and 0 in the West. So I guess the West is going to be better than the East this year. That's my prediction after 2 games. So, any predictions for RSL in Atlanta?
2-1 RSL.
2-1 RSL.
I'll go 3-1. I think it'll probably. I'll check that. I think it's 2-2. I think Atlanta's going to play well their home opener.
We could have been the good luck. We could have all said 2-1, and then boom, next episode.
You can't
Congrats,
do it.
RSL won 2-1.
You can't
You
do
had
it,
to
man.
go ruin Three's a Company.
Well, I was trying. I didn't want to say 3-1 because I get in trouble for saying 3-1 all the
But
time.
you could have just said 2-1 like us. It
That's
would
what I
have
meant. I meant 2-1.
been. And then you said 2-2.
Yeah, somebody's got to be the voice of irrational reason or
Doubt. Yeah.
doubt.
Doubt
So,
and confidence.
what about your other clubs? We haven't done the Come On Crawley update for a long time because, man, oh, they suck.
It's the only thing you can say is come on.
Come on, Crawley. We are 1 point out of the drop zone.
Mhm.
Uh, it's really bad. It could be danger. It could be a relegation nightmare in this household.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
could
Yeah.
if Tottenham doesn't start playing better, could see Tottenham and Crawley go down, and I don't know which would be worse.
probably the bigger club that's been in the Premier League for a very long time.
Yeah, probably.
Probably that
Like
team.
the
I
Man
don't know. I
Uniteds are
don't know.
playing well.
Dude, I I
Top
I tried
four, top
watching.
five.
I tried watching one of their games. I started watching Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace scored early, and I thought to myself, I don't think I like this team anymore. Like the way that this like the ownership has done things and like they've really tarnished my love for the team. Like
Wow.
I don't know, man. I don't even really care anymore.
Yeah, it's interesting because Arsenal's been circling through their players because Eze is playing well and
Oh, I
Madueke
love
and
Eze.
Saka and oh man.
Dude.
It's like they have an all-star bench even, you
Yeah, man.
know?
You know what's
It's the
crazy?
Yeah,
best
that
team to
good.
ever take second place.
I was just gonna say that, dude. Like the amount of success you guys have for like being so like solid and
Second
amazing,
place. Yeah.
just to not fully
Win the
trust the
league.
process
Mhm. Yeah.
and take second so frequently. Like, dude,
Yeah, I can't wait till Man City loses and just falls apart and and all of a sudden Man United overtakes us and takes the top spot out of nowhere. They just
dude, the
win their
moment I
like
stop being a
last
fan, it's
17
gonna happen,
games.
dude.
Arsenal is going to be the Cincinnati of the Premier League because I think
Yeah,
Cincinnati the last
never
4 or 5 years has the most points. I think they've earned the most points since in the league uh, since their coach took over. At least the last 2 seasons, they've had some really good seasons. They don't have any hardware to show for it, but they've really played well. So yeah, so it's interesting. The Premier League, there's a lot of. Is it is it an interesting season?
Yeah, Arsenal first, Man City second, Man U third, Aston Villa fourth, Liverpool fifth, then Chelsea, Brentford, Everton, Fulham, Bournemouth. I mean,
Yeah, did you see the Burnley and the oh my gosh, Burnley played
Brentford.
Brentford and that was just a balling out game. They scored 5 goals, two were called back, one was offsides by like 3 inches. Poor Burnley, man.
I'm a huge Scott Parker fan.
I don't know how they called that last one a handball.
Yeah, we yeah, I can see
I
how they
still, I
oh,
it's
see that it looks like it might have hit his arm, but you can't say definitively that it hit his arm and they still call it back.
yeah, it's not clear and obvious. Man U got this exact same one. Man U got a like a slight pull down in the box.
oh, that
Yeah.
one was
That
terrible.
one I was like, okay, that's not fair at all. That's not a penalty. That's outside the box. There's nothing there. Like in slow motion, you're like, that's gonna stop him. This little. Nah, dude. I did
You
not
know,
agree with that.
and the reason they're getting those calls is they just want that kid to get a damn haircut. That's why they're helping out Manchester United. Get
I want
that
them to
kid a
succeed.
haircut.
I want them to win the next 5 games, cut his hair, and then I want them to lose the rest of the season. So that way the ownership goes away. And then I'll be
What
happy.
I saw that Manchester United is $1.3 billion in debt.
Well,
That's it.
so you know what's hilarious is the owners don't put any money into the club. They don't put any money into it. They own it, don't do anything with it. They use all the money from shirt sales because their shirt sales outprice even the salary. Like they get so much money from just selling shirts and merch that it pays for all the salary. Like it's incredible.
Wow.
But yeah, stupid. We're in debt and it's Old Trafford, never gonna get a renovation, Trafford. Like so
Never
dumb.
gonna be new, Trafford.
They have these plans and nothing's ever getting through. Yeah, it's annoying, man.
Oh, well, it beats. We talked a little bit about that promotion and relegation, USL, moving to that direction when we talked with Q Williams from Hooligan Dash Soccer. You throw in that dash in there, you'll find it a lot quicker. Hooligansoccer.com. But it looks like the USL might not even start. Like he was mentioning, they're
Keep
talking.
pushing it off, pushing it off, pushing
Well,
it off.
their players association, they voted to go on strike. So if they can't come to an agreement, yeah. But there's a lot of things. The USL, for all of the things that people love about that, they're talking about, yeah, some of the things that they just don't have the infrastructure. They don't have the funding. It's quite a bit of ways from Major League Soccer. Not that Major League Soccer is the be all end all, but the USL is a few steps away from Major League Soccer, at least when it comes to the amount of money that is invested into the teams in the league.
Well, if you listen to, I mean, he broke it down quite well, but I think the relegation thing is going to help make MLS more substantial. And it has to start the way it's starting, which is at the bottom, because the bottom needs to get bolstered. There needs to be a bigger pull to be in that league. And then eventually it will help bridge the gap from the lower leagues to the MLS and make the MLS more substantial, especially since you have such high quality players coming in that aren't as out of their prime as they used to be, you know, like Mueller coming in, he's not that out of his prime. The new guy, oh crap, I just forgot his name.
Timo Werner.
Timo Werner, he's not out of his
Ton.
prime. And so it's like, in order for this club to or league to grow, we kind of have to go that route. And I'm here for it. Whatever makes my dad more annoyed makes me happy, you know?
I'm so easily. It's so hard to annoy me.
I know. Crazy.
So, so that's our breakdown of the game. We appreciate you listening. Um, please come out and join us at the next watch party. It'll be on the 7th. The game starts at 5:30. They'll be in Atlanta. Get there at 5. Come get some great food. It'll be a lot of fun. We'll have all of the TVs. We even promised we'll have all the TVs to watch. And it's a great venue to watch the sports the way they have it laid out. So even if we're not there, hit up the break in Murray, and we may have converted them with a few good showings. We may have the ability to turn that into an RSL soccer stronghold. So at the break in Murray. So we'll thank you for listening. Be sure to subscribe, like, share with your friends wherever you get your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, where however you do it. Also, TikTok. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook. Those are the three main ones that we use. And thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.